Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another episode with Boss Beauty. My name is Olateju Bello if you're new, and if you've been coming along, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for staying. I appreciate all of you guys. And on today's episode, I'm going to be talking to you about something exciting that I've been trying out. And this is not makeup, it's nothing to do with hair, it's something to do with my health as a sickle cell as a sickle cell patient. Gosh, if you do two different things, that's what happens. Yes. Anyways, there's this new treatment. I'm sure you guys must have seen it on BBC News, on the internet, on Instagram. Actually, when it came out, I had so many guys, so many people, so many of my friends, my followers on Instagram, they sent it to me. People that knew about my health, they sent it to me and they were like, oh, are you going to try this? Are you going to try it? I'm like, at that time, I think it was around September, October last year, it wasn't on the NHS, like UK NHS yet. So, you know, I couldn't say yes, I was going to try it, or no, I wasn't going to try it. The fact that it wasn't available in the UK yet, you know, we just had to wait. So on the 17th of February this year, I went to the sickle cell clinic, and before that time I had a bit of a crisis that I was able to manage at home. So I was telling the doctor about, you know, the minor ones that I've had at home. My big crisis before now was actually last year, August. So for you to be able to qualify for that treatment, you need to probably be having a crisis 2 or more times in a year. And I've definitely had that, and I have little ones that I'm able to manage at home with my painkillers. But sometimes when it gets really worse and I know that yes, this one is not manageable at home, then I go to A&E, and that is the one that I describe as my big crisis. So this treatment is called, I can't pronounce it yet, so I'm going to give it a short name. It's actually called 𝕕𝕚𝕚𝕟 or 𝕕𝕚𝕚𝕟𝕜, yes. But for this video and for my sake, so I don't lose any of my teeth, I'm going to be calling it 𝕧𝕚𝕚𝕟. So you guys, anytime I say 𝕧𝕚𝕚, I'm talking about the treatment, okay? Or if I say 𝕕𝕚𝕚𝕟𝕜, is the same thing I'm talking about, nothing different. It's still the same thing. It's just that it has a scientific name and then it has a common name so that it makes it easy for people to pronounce. It's just like hydroxycarbamide. We call it hydroxycarbamide in the UK. In the US, they call it hydroxyurea. So this is my leaflet that was given to me, and then I think they also call it Novartis, because when I was reading this package, it was actually referring to it as Novartis. So, but I'm just gonna call it 𝕧𝕚𝕚𝕟 for the sake of this video, okay guys? So let's get into the appointment at the clinic on the 17th. The doctor was still telling me that it wasn't available in the UK yet, but it was coming soon. So he was gonna put my name down, you know, for being interested in trying it out. And on the 18th, which was the day after the clinic, I had crisis and I was in A&E, and you know, by Monday the week after, the hematology doctor came to see me, and he gave me the good news that it was going to be available the week after, and I was like, yes, I'm trying it out, okay? So this treatment is, from what it does, is actually it acts on the protein p-selectin that actually makes the cells to sickle. So it helps it not to sickle, basically. That's what it does. Like the hydroxycarbamide, it increases your HbF level, and then when your HbF level is high, then your adult cells, your HbA2 cannot, it grows, but you know, if the F is higher, then it overpowers the A2 cells. That's the way the hydroxycarbamide works. I'm going to try and find a video and put it up there of how it actually works for you guys, if I don't get copyrighted, but you will see it. But if not, that's exactly what it does. So with this 𝕧𝕚𝕚𝕟 treatment, is something that you take, I think the first 2 times, like every 2 weeks in the month, and then after that it becomes once in a month. And this has been used in US, like this is the first time in the UK. With the treatment, I'm actually going to show you the video of me going to the clinic, how it was done. So this is not a tablet, and the first thing that sold it to me was the fact that it wasn't a tablet. I'm sorry guys, but you would think that I'll be used to those tablets by now, like I'm 30 something, but I'm not used to it. Like every time I take it, you need to see my face. My daughter will be like, well mom, you've been taking it for, I'm like, it's big. Like the hydroxycarbamide is actually big. And then that Thursday on the 17th, before that, I was taking 1.5 grams of hydroxycarbamide, but they increased it to 2 grams. So I'm just like, gosh, that's like 4 tablets. 4 big tablets. So I had to tell the doctor, like, can I take it in the morning and night? So I take 2 in the morning and then 2 at night, and he said it was fine. So that's what I've been doing now. So I still take the hydroxycarbamide as well as the 𝕧𝕝 therapy. So with the 𝕧𝕝 therapy, that is an infusion that goes into your vein. My veins are ridiculous. Like, guys, I've said this several times, and I think they're just getting worse by the day. Like the last crisis I had, which was about 2 weeks ago, before they could find the veins to even give me treatment, oh my goodness, it was bad. I went for a CT scan, I think sometime last year around October, and it took so much tries to actually get the vein, like to actually put cannula in my hands, that I actually went into crisis just because they kept poking me. Like with that, I think they tried more than 10 times. Like I started the trial from the sickle cell clinic where they thought that they'll be able to do it quickly. There used to be a lady, a phlebotomist, that was able to get my veins like once, but she's retired now. But even then, she's just always lucky, and sometimes she has to try it 2 times or 3 times. But that time when I went for the CT scan, it was really bad. Like I was just really tired. But I think I went to the clinic around, my appointment was meant to be 9 o'clock, and I got there about that just before 9, and they decided to try to cannulate me, and they didn't actually get access until I think about 3 o'clock or something. And the CT scan that I went for was not even up to an hour. Like I think it was even about 20 minutes. I don't want to say 5 minutes because it was that short, but it was about 20 minutes. But the stress of trying to actually cannulate me was so bad. Like, nah, I was really tired by the time I finished that day. So trying to get my veins is actually ridiculous. It's the most painful thing for me. If you have the same kind of veins like me, guys, I know the struggle, okay? And you're not alone. And that's the struggle that I face. So when I went for this 𝕧𝕝 therapy, because I just came out of the hospital for my crisis, my hands were still bruised. And in fact, there's one here. I don't know if you can see, that place is swollen. And that's basically from this last crisis. Just someone trying to get my vein, poking me, I think about 2-3 times in the same spot. And that is still very painful. Like every night I keep putting 𝕒𝕠 just to try and make it ease off, but it's still really hard and painful. But that's how bad it is. So when I went for the 𝕧𝕝 therapy, the first person tried, she couldn't get the veins, and I'm just like, you can try. And the thing is, I always tell them try anywhere, but this time I was like, try anywhere apart from that spot. And I think she could find a vein there, so I'm like, I'm sorry, you can't go in there. So another colleague came and she got the cannula in, and then the infusion is actually for 30 minutes. But because it's new, I had to stay for 2 hours to make sure that there was not going to be any reaction or anything like that. I'm going to read a bit about this 𝕧𝕝 therapy for you guys, so you have an idea what it is. And if you know anyone that's got sickle cell that is in the UK or in the US, they can try it. I believe at some point, from what I read, it says that the insurance that they pay in the US wasn't actually enough for people to have this treatment. But I think now they've got access to it. But on the NHS, thank you God for bringing me to the UK, because on the NHS it's actually free. I was literally praying that, God, please let this not be a charge, because the treatment is actually expensive. So even when they give you an appointment, you can't afford to miss the appointment because it is that expensive, and it's just going to be a waste of resources. So if you feel like you've got an appointment and you can't make it, you have to cancel it at least 2 weeks. That's what I was told by the doctor. And I'm like, what if the crisis happens on the day of the treatment? You know, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm just hoping I wouldn't have to cancel any appointment for this, because I don't have no 1,000 to give anyone, okay? So in this package there is a sickle cell diary, so basically where I report any crisis that I have. So before I started this treatment, when I went to the doctor on the 17th, the one I had just the week before, I wrote it in there. And then on the 18th, after I left the clinic on the 17th, another crisis started. I've put that in there as well. But my first treatment was actually on the 2nd of March. So far I haven't got anything to put in there. I'm hoping it's going to stay like that. And this treatment is supposed to reduce the amount of crisis by at least 40%. So it's not a cure, it's just something to reduce crisis by 40%. So I've got this diary, which I used to do it. I used to keep a diary of my crisis, but as you grow older, you have more responsibilities, you just forget, you know. So this is really good. At least it helps me to track if this 𝕕𝕦 therapy is actually working for me or not. So as well as the 𝕕𝕦 therapy, I'm still using my hydroxycarbamide. I'm not going to stop that. I'm not going to say I use it 100% before, but I'm going to try and, you know, be loyal to it. So this just talks about planning your infusion, which you have to sign a consent. So I signed the consent while I was in hospital, and I went the week after I was pain-free, and then I went for the infusion. The infusion was for 30 minutes and I had to wait for 2 hours. So the infusion of the 𝕕𝕦 therapy itself was for 30 minutes, and then they have to flush you with a saline, which was for another 30. In about 20-30 minutes they let it run through, and after that I waited for an hour. So whilst the saline was going through, it's part of the 2 hours. So basically I waited for 2 hours. The only downside for me when I went for the treatment was because this treatment is prepared by the pharmacy. MRI pharmacy, especially when you are in the ward. Oh my goodness, that's like the worst time to wait ever. Like even after any discharge and you're waiting for a take-home medication from the pharmacy, just know that you're going to be there for hours. So by the time I got there, my appointment was at 1 o'clock. I'm sure at first I was like, well, it's good that they've not actually prepared the treatment before the patient comes, because if the patient cannot make it, like I said, if the crisis happens when you're supposed to go for the treatment, you can't help it. So that was good. It was a good idea that they would actually do it after you've got to the clinic. But this actually took more than, I think it took more than 2-3 hours that we were waiting. Along the line, they were waiting for my veins as well. So really, it wasn't really a waste of time. But having to wait 3 hours for them to prepare the treatment, for me, most of the time, I probably will be going from work to the appointment. And the last one I took, it took me, I think we got there about 1 and we left around 6. That's like 5 hours. That's half of my shift. So I don't know if work is going to tell me to book half day, or they would allow me to actually go and then come back. I don't know what's the, you know, what that's going to be like. But my second one is going to be that. Then I might be able to tell you guys what it was like. But the first one, yes, I had to wait 3 hours, and then the infusion was basically 30 minutes, and then 30 minutes saline to flush the line, and then 1 hour extra to wait just to make sure there will be no reactions. And according to the treatment information, I'm trying to find that. I don't want to give you too much information. Okay, so it says guide to the treatment. Oops. So I'm hoping that would actually talk about the treatment. Okay, so in here, your guide to treatment to 𝕕𝕒𝕟𝕜. You guys can see that picture, because I don't know if there's going to be a copyright fine for me if I actually put, you know, videos from Google. I'm not sure. So I'm going to use this picture for you guys. If you can see it, I hope. But I'll try and take a picture as well and then just insert it somewhere. So basically, it's just saying that 𝕕𝕒𝕟𝕜, which is 𝕕𝕦, is a treatment that was developed for patients with sickle cell disease to help prevent pain crisis by strongly attaching to p-selectin, a key sticky factor, making certain blood cells less sticky and blocking clusters from forming, which prevents blockages in the blood vessels. In simple English, the red cells that actually turn sickle, which, you know, blocks the vessels and then give you painful crisis, this 𝕕𝕒𝕟𝕜 basically would stop those cells from being sticky and changing shape, and then it stops them from blocking the blood vessels. If the blood vessels are not blocked, then it means that blood are easily flown through the body, and definitely there will be no pain. So basically that's what, in simple English, that's what that means, okay? And it says here that pain crises are one of the most difficult parts of living with sickle cell that may last for several days and can be so bad that you need to go to the hospital. There is no lie in that. Like, that's actually as it is. Sometimes when I speak to some older sickle cell patients and they say that they don't go to hospital even when they've never been in hospital when they're in crisis, I'm like, how do you do it? You know, because the thing is, I work in the lab and I know what sickle cell is. I diagnose people with sickle cell, you know. So when you have to read a lot about it, I did a lot of presentations while I was at uni, when I did my master's, and being in painful crisis and you not seeking help, like a very painful one. Like I said, it does have degree. I do have some that I'm able to manage it at home with just my painkillers, rest, drink water, and just stay wherever I am. But the ones that I know that, yes, I can't manage at home, if you don't go to hospital with that, it could cause you more complications, which is only in the hospital that you can get it checked or even picked up, and then you can receive treatment. So staying at home, I'm not going to say don't stay at home. To be honest, hospital nowadays is like the worst place to go. Like, I would not even wish my enemy to go to the hospital, but we need it. Like, we need it. So yeah. Anyway, so this says, how is this treatment given? Like I said, I've given it before. It says that you will be given the first IV infusion when you start treatment. 2 weeks later, you will get a second infusion. After that, you will get an infusion every 4 weeks. So for me, because I started in March, and March is 31 days, which meant that it is 5 weeks in March. So my first treatment was on the 2nd of March. I've got another one on the 15th and then another one on the 29th. So basically I'm having 3 in March, and then after that it will be every 4 weeks. Okay, so what to expect from your treatment. It says that 𝕟 is used to prevent pain crises, which I said before, but it may not make them go away completely. It is meant to be taken as a long-term treatment. It is important to keep attending your infusion appointment, as pain crises can occur relatively infrequently and be hard to predict. So in order to get the best results from treatment, you should continue to attend your appointments. Even if your pain crises become less frequent, your healthcare team will regularly monitor you to see if 𝕟 is working the way it should. If you miss an appointment, contact your healthcare team as soon as possible to reschedule. So 2 days after I had my treatment, so after my 1 hour stay at the hospital, I didn't have any reaction, because it says the immediate reactions that you could probably get, I'm gonna get to those now, is things like vomiting, like nausea, having muscle pain, joint pain, things like that. So that's why you have to stay, so that they can monitor you to make sure that none of this is gonna happen. So I didn't have any of those reaction, and then while I got home, I didn't use any painkiller and I didn't have any reaction as well. 2 days later, I got a call from the sickle cell nurse and just checking on me to make sure that I was still okay. There was no problem. So far for me, I think it's the 3rd. I had on Tuesday, today's Friday, so it's my 3rd day after I've had it, 3 days after I've had it, yeah, and I'm still okay. So what you should know about the potential side effects of Adakveo. Common side effects, it says in clinical trials, most side effects were mild to moderate. The most common side effects were back pain, nausea, abdominal pain, fever, which is high temperature, or pain in the joints. And then serious side effects, which could happen within 24 hours of receiving an infusion, is basically fever, chills or shivering, nausea, vomiting, tiredness, dizziness, sweating, hives, itching, and shortness of breath or wheezing. I have not had any of this, and mine is definitely more than 24 hours. Other side effects of Adakveo may include diarrhea, vomiting, itching, pain in the muscles or bones of the chest, so signs of musculoskeletal chest pain, muscle pain, sign of myalgia, throat pain, that I can't pronounce that word, and then redness or swelling and pain at the site of the infusion. I've not actually had any, because I had mine there. I've not had any problems there. There's no pain, no swelling, nothing like that. So far I've been good. And if you notice any side effects, you have to tell your healthcare team immediately, like as soon as possible. If you have to go back to the clinic, you have to go back to the clinic. If it's out of hours, then you have to go to A&E. Please don't stay at home. Don't say, oh, I don't go to hospital, I don't like hospital. You have to go. Some of us, we're just friends with the hospital. So yeah, sometimes when I tell my daughter I'm going to the hospital, she's like, are you going to work or are you going to the hospital? I'm like, I'm sick, I'm going to hospital. Okay, so it says that 𝕕𝕦𝕥𝕟𝕜 may interfere with the interpretation of one of your blood cell counts. So remind your healthcare team that you are receiving a dark view before having any blood test. So for me, I have a follow-up appointment on the 29th of March, which would be after my 3rd treatment, and then I'm sure it's just to talk about it. And from what the doctor already told me, I'm going to continue this for a year, and then after a year I'll be able to... Guys, the kids are back from school, so if you start hearing noise in the background, please ignore them and listen to me. Right, let's finish this. So this book, it says tips for staying healthy while you are on 𝕕𝕦𝕥𝕟𝕜. You need to eat a balanced diet. I'm sure my mom is giving me a side eye like yeah, such as fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and protein-rich foods, and drink 8 to 10 glasses of water a day. Try to avoid very hot or very cold temperatures. Wash your hands regularly with soap. Keep attending infusion appointments. Make sure you take time to relax. Try to limit alcohol intake and smoking. I don't do that. Anyway, discuss any concerns you have with your nurse or doctor. Try to relax here. I will try to relax. I actually do relax, you know. It's just that I relax at midnight. Okay. So your 𝕕𝕦𝕥𝕟𝕜 action plan. So be a part of your care. Step 1. Know what to expect from the treatment, which I've already told you guys. It's not a treatment, it's not a cure for sickle cell. It's just to help reduce the amount of crisis by at least up to 40%. Step 2, prepare a list of questions to ask your healthcare team, of which I think because I work in the lab, I've already done all this research. Like immediately I saw it in the BBC News last year, I've read everything I need to know about this treatment. So I wouldn't say that I was worried. The fact that it was not even a tablet was a pass for me. So I didn't really have any worries about it. And then step 3, stay on treatment as prescribed. So try not to miss your appointment. But as a sickle cell sufferer, you can't help it when the crisis is going to happen. So if it does, speak to your healthcare team. Make time for yourself and your health. Try to party. Try to live life. Try to enjoy life. It did not say party, but try to enjoy yourself, okay? So it says you should take a moment to feel good about all the positive things you are doing to manage your sickle cell. You deserve it. Yes, I do. Take your pain crisis. Track your pain crisis to help see progress throughout treatment. I've already started that. And then stay in touch with your healthcare team, ask questions, and take an active role in your treatment. Because I work in the same hospital that I normally receive my treatment, I think that it's just going to be very easy for me. And that's the end of everything. This is just notes. And it says reporting your side effects. If you get any side effect, talk to your doctor, pharmacist, or nurse. This includes any side effects not listed in the package. So try and familiarize yourself with your own body so that if you feel any changes. There was a time I had some reaction on my face, and at that time I actually felt it was the hydroxycarbamide. I stopped the hydroxycarbamide. I stopped doing makeup altogether, and that's why up till now I'm still not used to, you know, the vibe of doing makeup regularly, because that was actually a struggle then. So but eventually I realized it wasn't the hydroxycarbamide. So if you notice any little thing, then try to make a note of it, okay? And it says that you can also report side effects directly via the yellow card scheme at yellowcard.mhra.gov.uk. So that's the end of this treatment and what to expect, what you're going to get, how it works, and how you should look after yourself. So since I've started this treatment, I've decided I'm not going to be stressing myself too much, but I'm still working, so that alone is stress. If only I can stay at home. Even working from home is still stress. Like literally, I think we're just exposed to that stress on a daily basis. We just have to try and manage it as much as we can. So that's gonna be the end of this video. I've had my first treatment, I've got my second and my third one scheduled, and I'm going to be trying my best to go for it. I'm not gonna miss any of this because, to be honest, I really want to stay out of hospital. I want to have more time with my family, more time to enjoy my life as well, and I want my mom to be stress-free as well. Like, she's the only one that understands this girl, so I want to try and make sure that everyone around me, they're not stressed when I'm sick, or you know, that kind of thing. So I'm praying, and I've left it to the hands of Almighty Allah to make this treatment work for me and every other warrior out there. If you know anyone that suffers with sickle cell and in the UK, I'm sure there is requirements for getting it. If you're on regular blood transfusion, I don't think you qualify for a 𝕧𝕚𝕕𝕟 from what I read, you know, in the articles and stuff. But because those set of people were not actually trialed when they were doing the trial, yeah. So I don't think if you're on regular transfusion, you're going to be getting it. I wasn't on regular transfusion, I wasn't on regular exchange transfusion, so that's why it was easy for me to say yes, I'm going to try it out. And this is actually the first one apart from the 𝕧𝕚𝕬𝕟. The 𝕧𝕚𝕬𝕟, when it came out, it wasn't really a trial, it was just a, we have this treatment for you, start using it. But with the 𝕧𝕚𝕬𝕟, it was more of, let's try it out and see if it works for you. So I'm happy, I've started, I'm okay for now, and I'm gonna be okay forever. Okay, so guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, leave comments down below, and share this video with your friends. And my prayer now is, I hope this treatment makes it to Nigeria, because I know that there's so many people suffering from sickle cell with Nigeria, and people are still being born with sickle cell. Like, guys, educate yourself, be wise. Okay, I'm not gonna say more than that, but I hope this treatment actually makes it to Nigeria. And if it makes it there, I hope the people will be able to afford it as well, because like I said, it's very expensive. So if I'm saying it's very expensive in the UK, definitely it will be ridiculously expensive in Nigeria. So I just hope that it will be readily available and people will be able to afford it. So guys, thank you so much. I will see you next time in my next video. If you have any questions, leave in the comment below. Isa is looking at me thinking, what is wrong with this woman? Why is she talking a lot? Isa, I finished the video. Okay? Okay. Good. Right. So, is it? So who loves the video? Okay, so guys, I'm sure you guys are gonna love it as well. I'll see you next time in my next video. Bye bye. Ciao. See you. Bye bye. Bye. I'm going to kiss you on the lips now. Yeah, come on, kiss on the lips. No.